Hello everybody and welcome back to another episode of Pointless Top 10, a show where we make top 10 lists of pointless things. Why are we flying by this pointless statue in Booty Bay? Because inside pointless things are treasure. Let's begin. 10. Number 10 is Jones the cat, and you might have guessed it, but Jones is a cat, and he's doing cat things by sleeping in random spots in Dalaran. Jones is a house cat. He's found in the Ledger Domain Lounge in Dalaran. When you do /pet, Jones purrs, so that's kind of neat. like a cat. Although some cats, it depends. They want to be pet on their own time. Jones is also most likely named after an orange tabby of the same name from the movie Alien, who also appears briefly in its sequel, Aliens. Wow. Either way, this is Jones the cat, and he's number 10. 9. Number 9 is the swift Zulian tiger, and I feel like when you think of cats in WoW, you probably don't think of cat mounts, right? At least I didn't up until this point where I was like, I probably should include this, because the swift Zulian tiger, it's a rare mount, and it's one of my favorite mounts, if not my favorite mount, because of the little story behind it. So this mount got discontinued, I believe, in Cataclysm. And I remember only a few weeks were left to be able to get this mount, and I was farming it on my druid at the time, and I was doing it with someone else, and they wanted to come along with the Swift Zulian Tiger run. I was like, alright. And it dropped, and I was like, oh my god, dude, this is crazy. And then they were like, oh my god, I'm gonna get the mount, and they rolled need on it, and I rolled need, and they won it. And I was like, oh man, I've been farming this for so long, this sucks. And they were like, hey, you know what? I came along for this run, you should have it. And I was like, really? And they're like, yeah, you take it. And I was like, all right, sweet. So I took it, and then they discontinued it, and I remember that person was then like, man, I should have kept that mount. But they didn't, and that's the moral of the story, is there really isn't any moral to the story. It's just that the Swift Zulian Tiger is a really cool mount. I like it a lot, and I wanted to include it on this list. So it's number 9. 8. Number 8 is Xena the cat. And Xena is actually a reference to Xena the warrior princess, which was the first thing I thought of. And obviously I had to look this up because I was like, dude, how old is Xena the warrior princess? This show, I remember it would come on after like baseball games on Fox or something. 1995. Wow. And I actually don't even remember the show. Like, I remember it, you know what I mean? But I don't remember it. So I kind of want to go back and just watch an episode just to remember, because, this is a blast from the past. But you can find Xena in the Amphitheater of Anguish in Zoldrak, and she's the pet of Woden, the troll servant. You can also find her in the Ring of Blood in Nagrand in Draenor. Which, by the way, Woden is a reference to Odin, the Norse god, while Xena was once a favorite of Greek war god Ares, though for a time she was actually serving Odin as a Valkyrie. Thank you, Wowpedia, for that information. Either way, she's a fun cat, and she's number 8. 7. Number 7 are the Winter Sabers, and there's just a lot that goes into this being one of my favorite cats. I mean, I love the colors of the Winter Saber. The Winter Saber. You got like the neon muted purple with the white stripes, or I guess it could be I think that's what it is, the white stripes, neon muted. Yeah, it looks more like white stripes. And then, being in Winter Spring, one of my favorite zones, and then being one of the oldest kind of classic rep grinds as well, you know what I mean? Where back in the day, you had to super rep grind. Dude, I can't. Whoa, ooh, woo. Rep grind. God, where is this going? It's one of the oldest rep grind quests. And they got changed, and I gotta move on. I did 2 ooh-woos in a pointless top 10 segment. That's too many. That's number 7. 6. Number 6 is King Bangalash, and I put King Bangalash on this list because he's the king, right? He's king of the tigers, so it makes sense that he would be on this list as one of the, royal cats, essentially. I mean, he's the grand animal that even Hemet Nessingwary wants you to hunt, right? Like, he's the final quest. So, I feel like that notoriety puts King Bangalash way up on this list. Also, apparently, There's two things that it says it could stem from. It says King Bangladesh is possibly a reference to the critically endangered species of tiger in real life, the Bengal tiger. And other than India, one of its other main habitats is Bangladesh. So Bengal tiger, Bangladesh, King Bangladesh, who knows? It also says Bangladesh, also sounds similar to Bengalas, a panther-like alien in Blizzard's StarCraft series. So maybe they just mixed it all together, who knows? But either way, I mean, he's a cool-looking tiger. You know, white tiger, black stripes. I remember he summons some panthers to help him. I think he got nerfed. I think in Classic WoW, you used to have to put a group together, and then he got nerfed, and now you can just fight him solo, because, you know, everything in the game they nerfed down. But I remember a bunch of hunters would always get King Bangladesh as a pet, and I don't know if he just had better stats, or if he just looked cool, but either way, you know, I mean, again, he's king of the tigers, and I guess you could say he's king of the jungle. Although somebody's gonna be like, Crendor, he's king of the tigers, but he's number 6 on the list. Okay, this is a pointless list. It's my list. It doesn't. None of this matters. So that's why he's number. Oh my God! Look how high he jumped. All right, maybe he should be number 1. 5. Number 5 is Twinkle the cat, and Twinkle the cat. First off, great name. They're a White House cat found at Falcon Watch in the Hellfire Peninsula, where apparently there's floating houseplants. Like, look at those, dude. How have I not done pointless top 10 houseplants when these are on the list? That could be a future pointless top 10. Who knows? But this is about cats. So I picked this cat because this always comes to my mind when I think of this quest. I always think of this cat, and I think of the cat chasing after this blood elf mistress that apparently, like, this woman's husband, I think. I don't even remember the full quest line, but either way, she's like, turn her into a rat, and you turn her into a rat, and then the cat chases her down, and she's like, ah, and that's that. Although when you really think about it, it's kind of messed up. Like, it almost feels like a cartoon, you know, like in the cartoons where that something like that happens, and then it's like, doop 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 boop. Except this is real life. This is World of Warcraft, and so, like, I don't know. Like, could you imagine someone just gets turned into a rat and then they die by being eaten by a cat? I don't know. This quest is just weird and messed up, and I always think of it when I think of these types of things. So when it comes down to it, the cat's just being a cat. It sees rat, it kills rat. It is what it is. And that's why this cat's number 5. 4. Number 4 is a bit of a sad one because we have Rowdy the Mechano Cat, which is actually pretty cool because it's one of the few Mechano Cats I've seen in World of Warcraft. So I was like, oh, this is cool. But then I read that Rowdy is a tribute to a real-life cat that passed away on January 6, 2014. So that made me sad. But I was like, you know what? I got to pay my tribute to Rowdy as well. Rowdy, if you see Rowdy in Dalaran, give Rowdy a pet. So rest in peace, Rowdy. You're a good cat, and now you'll forever be the robot guard cat. And that's number 4. 3. Number 3 is Mr. Bigglesworth. You knew Mr. Bigglesworth had to be on this list. It's so hard to say. Mr. Bigglesworth. I already struggle saying normal words. Now I gotta say Bigglesworth. So it was actually very relevant because Naxxramas just came out in Classic Wrath of the Lich King. But Mr. Bigglesworth is a capturable level 5 Burman house cat belonging to Kel'Thuzad. Found just inside the entrance to Nax. Killing him causes Kel'Thuzad to yell, "No, a curse upon you interlopers! The armies of the Lich King will hunt you down! You will not escape your fate!" Which, I mean, listen, if I was the super Lich guy and I had a cat, I'd be pissed off too if someone cut. If anything, I feel like if you killed Mr. Bigglesworth, the raid should have gotten harder. You know what I mean? Like, maybe don't even give people more loot. Like, the raid just gets harder or something. You know what I mean? I don't know. That feels like it would make more sense. But either way, Mr. Bigglesworth is a cool cat. He's got, like, crazy ice whiskers or demon soul whiskers. I don't know what it is. Lich King whiskers that look cool. But here's some fun facts. Mr. Bigglesworth is also the name of Dr. Evil's cat, which starts out as a white Persian cat and ends up a Sphinx cat in the Austin Powers movie, so obviously this is a reference to that. Blizzard actually has a lot of pop and or pop music, pop TV references, you know what I mean? A lot more than I thought back in the day. Like, looking back, I'm like, wow, there's actually a decent amount of them. Maybe that'd make a good pointless top 10, I don't know. Either way, But, you know, I mean, Mr. Bigglesworth is easily one of the most notorious cats in World of Warcraft. I think when you think of World of Warcraft cats, they gotta be right up there in the top 5, maybe even top 3, you might say. And that's why Mr. Bigglesworth is number 3. 2! Number 2 are all the cats on Ella's farm. And if you don't know, Ella is a Pandaren farmer over in the Valley of the Four Winds. And apparently she is a shy young woman who works her family's turnip farm by herself as her parents are deceased. According to Xena Mudclaw, the large number of cats at her home is apparently to cope with her loneliness due to the loss of her parents. Well, that's sad. I didn't know that up until I read this. I was like, oh, she just has a bunch of cats because she likes cats. Man. Well, she aspires to be a great brewer, but she has a long road ahead of her. Like, we go from that, it's like she has a bunch of cats to cope with the loneliness of her parents passing away. But she aspires to be a great brewer. Ella likes jade cats. She also has a large number of cats. Their names are Ashley, Bella, Cairo, Casper, Luna, Pookie, Shiro, Spartacus, and Virgil. But the main point here is that all of these cats come together to be number 2. I couldn't just pick one. I was gonna pick Spartacus, and then I was like, you know what? No, we gotta clump them all together. I also like the image of all the cats working together to like help her with her brewing, which really doesn't make any sense, like cats helping you make beer. But in my head, it was like a Studio Ghibli type scenario, and she's just like, come on, everybody. And then some of them are like harvesting the hops, and some are like brewing it. And then it's like, Spartacus is the taste tester. And he's just like, meow. But he's like really drunk and wobbling around. This is what happens in my head when I was figuring this out. And I was like, this has to be number 2. It's got to be number 2, right? So these cats are number 2 primarily because I pictured all of them making beer. That, and there's a whole bunch of them. Yeah. 1. And number 1 is the Crazy Cat Lady. Donnie Anthenia, I definitely didn't say that right, is a house cat companion vendor, more popularly known as the Crazy Cat Lady. Located in the Elwyn Forest. She invites Cornish Rex cats to her tea parties, but she doesn't serve their favorite drink, the tears of their enemies. She plans to have a Bombay buried with her when she dies, but a wise adventurer can put its talents to much better use. So yeah, she's crazy. I don't know why she's carrying a butcher knife. It doesn't really make sense. But she does have some fun little facts that I didn't know going into this. First, the NPC's name is an overt reference to Catricia? I have no idea. Or Cat, K-A-T, Blizzard's community manager during the World of Warcraft beta. Catricia herself commented that Blizzard had based an NPC off her, and most people who were in the beta know Catricia's real name, Donna Anthony. Her avatar on the forum was a picture of a cat also. Well, that does check out. Crazy Cat Lady's a reference to, you know, Crazy Cat Ladies, like The Simpsons. Yeah, I always think of the Simpsons one where she's like throwing cats at people. That's like whenever I think of a Crazy Cat Lady, that's the first thing my mind goes to is The Simpsons Crazy Cat Lady. And she's like, yeah. And then outside the farm where Donnie Anthenia lives, there's a gravestone titled Lord Underfoot, possibly related to Underfoot, the cat from Arathi Basin. So, a little honorary mention there to Underfoot, the Arathi Basin cat. But when I was thinking about who to put at number 1, it was between Crazy Cat Lady House and Ella, because obviously, you know, both have a whole bunch of cats there, but it just felt like this one was more pointless and crazy. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like at Ella's farm, she knows all the cats by name. She's like, oh, there goes Spartacus and Luna and Casper. And here it's just like, there's the Crazy Cat Lady and then cats just roaming around. It's almost like the cats own this house. You know what I mean? Like, there's no structure here. But I feel like that's what it's all about, right? It's pointless, it's wacky, it's crazy, and it's number 1. Hey everybody, thanks for watching this episode of Pointless Top 10. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, all that YouTube lingo, and if you want to see some more Pointless Top 10s, I'll put a couple of them right there on the screen you can click on and go check out. Okay? Okay. See ya!